Calm, right, march.
Good morning. I'm BM1 Timothy Glazier, class advisor for Bosun's Mate A School Class 0219, and I will be your master of ceremonies this morning. I do ask that you please silence your phones or any electronic devices. Welcome to Training Center Yorktown. I personally thank you to take the time to come out today for this important occasion. Please take the time today to tour our base. There is a lot of Coast Guard history on our quarterdeck and our grounds. I encourage you to take a lot of photos to capture this very special day for these students. Please feel free to stand up, walk about, and take your photos. It is an exciting and dynamic time to be in the Coast Guard, and these students are poised and ready to take on new experiences and challenges. We have an extraordinary legacy of excellence as America's Coast Guard. I would like to introduce you to the members of the official party. Commander Chris Tesseris, Branch Chief, Boat Forces, Cutter Operations, Training Center, Yorktown.
Good morning.
Senior Chief, Bosun's Mate, Joseph D. Emilio.
Good morning.
School Chief, BMA School. The Bosun's Mate rating is the only enlisted rating to aspire for command. These graduates will someday be in charge of their own cutters, small boat stations, and aid to navigation teams. Along the way, they will do many things, including navigating cutters and small boats, protecting the marine environment, enforcing federal laws and treaties, conducting search and rescue operations, maintaining ports, waterways, and aids to navigation, defense operations, mentoring junior personnel, and managing a multitude of challenging and dynamic responsibilities. The staff is proud to have trained them, and I am privileged to send our newest bosun's mates out to the fleet. Now I would like to invite the command representative to address the graduating class. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Commander Tesseris.
Good morning. To the friends and family of Class 0219, honored guests, veterans, and representatives of other branches of the military, on behalf of our commanding officer of Training Center Yorktown, Commander Spivak, welcome. If you've not been here before and not had the opportunity to tour the training center or our surrounding battlefields, I hope that you take this opportunity to see the beauty of the campus and take in its history. Believe me, this class has put in enough time running on the roads and battlefields that they could probably teach a history class on the importance of Yorktown to our nation's history. And I hope that before you leave, that you take a chance to venture down to the Boat Forces facility, even on this windy, cold day, at Wormley Creek. There you'll see our training boats that we like to call our floating classrooms. On board these boats, these graduates spent numerous hours steaming on the Chesapeake Bay and the York River as they learned to become future mariners, professional mariners, and bosun mates in the United States Coast Guard. And as of today, Class 0219, you passed your first in a series of hurdles to become those professional mariners. You're moving on to your operational units, where your real education will begin. And thanks to the hard work of your school chief, Senior Chief D'Amelio, and the highly skilled and experienced staff of instructors, you're ready to become part of something truly bigger than yourselves. You see, you're now part of history, a history steeped in tradition that dates back to revolutionary times. And as many before you have found, your service will often be challenging, sometimes be thankless, but always, always be worthwhile. To the families present today, thank you. You've done a great job to instill some basic values into these individuals that fuel our all-volunteer service. And you've raised these men and women to be the finest that the Coast Guard has to offer. I certainly applaud your efforts. Thank you. In the modern world, the Coast Guard has become more relevant than ever. And your role as bosun mates ensures the economic future of our nation. Through maritime mobility, security, and safety, bosun mates are conducting over 80% of the Coast Guard patrol hours to keep our ports and harbors safe and secure while protecting our shores from transnational narcotic smuggling and human trafficking. We, the American people, need you to answer this call to help ensure our prosperity. For those of you in the Coast Guard Reserves, you represent the true spirit of our service. When a disaster strikes, no matter what the magnitude, the reserve component responds to bring an energy of an unrelenting human resource to an area in its time of need. When your active duty counterpart is training to be ready for operations, you, the reserve, train to be ready for deployment. And these are big responsibilities. And I know that each of you are up to the challenge and eager to start your own adventures. But before you leave and put the gates of Trace in Yorktown in your rearview mirror, at least for a little while, I'd like you to pause and reflect about this opportunity that lies ahead of you. You see, Thomas Edison once said that opportunity is missed by most because it comes dressed in overalls and it looks a whole lot like hard work. You've already proven that you can identify, capture, and relish in an opportunity by joining the best service and choosing the best rating. But please remember, in everything you do, there will be opportunity. Opportunity to succeed, opportunity to fail, opportunity to accept, ignore, or mitigate risk. If you ignore all the opportunities, your only option will be left is just to fail. So do what you've proven that you can do and you have done, is relish and thrive on opportunities to succeed as a coastie, as a petty officer, and as a person in your community. And whether you know it or not, you joined a pretty risky business. And I want you to take risks. No, I order you to take risks. Calculated risks, that is, but don't take chances. Our old motto in the Coast Guard used to be, you gotta go out, but you don't gotta come back. Our new motto is, you don't always have to go out, but if you do, you better come back and you better bring the boat and the crew with you. We've taught you the general assessment of risk, that's our GAR or peace models. Just follow those. And you'll find that you can apply it to many aspects of your life. And maybe, just maybe, you'll live a little safer and a little healthier. But believe it or not, there's one thing in your life and your career that you have complete and utter control over, and that is your attitude. It'll be easy to get discouraged when liberty is granted for all the other departments except yours, or getting that radio call from OPCON telling you that your search case has just been extended another 6 to 10 hours. But don't get down. The mission is far too important, and the American public is counting on you to be that energetic coastie and to maintain your vigilance. Stay positive and stay motivated. Have fun with it. Your shipmates, your crew, and if you're running with any partnering agencies, they'll feed off of your enthusiasm, trust me. You'll be shocked to see what a positive outlook will have on your career. As Winston Churchill once said, attitude is that little thing that makes such a big difference. Finally, I would be remiss if I didn't remind you of our Commandant's guiding principles that he's charged each of us to apply. And as you embark on your next assignments, it fit quite nicely into what's now expected of you as petty officers and as bosun mates. Through those guiding principles, you are reminded to be ready, relevant, and responsive. The first guiding principle, to be ready. What does that mean to a Coast Guardsman and you as bosun mates? It means that you'll be prepared to serve and protect the American people and our national interest. The public places very special trust in you to be prepared to accomplish our mission and to serve a greater cause than yourself. You must honor that trust, and continue to learn, practice, and become proficient in your craft. This will build confidence in your abilities and have others build confidence in your abilities as well. You need to be prepared. You need to be ready. Relevant. We need to be that professional and agile armed force, law enforcement, regulators, and maritime first responders. The nation needs that beacon of light, which our partners and communities can confidently rely on to navigate an increasingly complex maritime environment. This profession that you chose will cause you to have direct contact with people, and you should be dedicated to the citizens that you serve, as well as your shipmates. Engage and have a bias for action when the situation calls for it. And that means both while on duty and off duty. As bosun mates, you're going to be placed in situations time and time again to serve and protect others. And I know that you'll rise to those occasions. I guarantee that each of you will be placed in a position to take action. So don't shy away from that responsibility. That is what it's meant to be relevant. The last guiding principle is to be responsive. You'll need to be proactive and excel in the mission execution as we protect and defend our homeland. We, the Coast Guard, have a reputation to respond to the call courageously and effectively. It may be a natural disaster like several of the hurricanes that we've experienced these last few years, or a major search and rescue case like saving a boat and its crew in peril at sea. But when called upon, we carry out our business and our mission with all of our might. We must strive to achieve the highest standards. This is how we stay responsive. You see, I've had the pleasure and the privilege to work side by side some of the best and the brightest the service has to offer. And I could say factually that these individuals have been resoundingly BOSA mates. So continue on with the traditions of your rating in this great service. Live by and promote our core values of honor, respect, devotion to duty, and wear your chevrons with pride. And fulfill your destinies with all the Coast Guard has to offer. Now, go off and be a part of the action. Listen to your supervisors and be a lifetime learner. But have as much fun in the process as you can. Thank you very much for this time, and good luck to each of you. Semper Paratus.
Thank you, Commander, for your remarks. Our speaker today is Senior Chief Joseph D'Amelio. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Senior Chief D'Amelio.
Thank you very much. Again, I want to reiterate, or give another thank you to the families and friends who came out to support these graduates today. It's a very big day for all of them, as I'm sure it is for you as well. The advancement to E4 is the first milestone advancement in any military career. It's transitioning from a non-rated member of the Coast Guard to a rated petty officer in the Coast Guard, which there's obviously more added responsibility and challenges ahead, just to reiterate what Commander had said. Congratulations, Class 219, you guys have made it. You've successfully completed the 14-week challenge that was laid out before you, and in many cases exceeded all the expectations. It's truly an accomplishment to get here and get ready to go out to the fleet. I remember early in my career sitting in a seat similar to where you were. We didn't have A school, but it was all hands at a station, and I was a BM3, and we had a crusty old Master Chief come up and kind of talk to us about what was going on in the Coast Guard. And he started out his speech by saying that he was, if he could, he would trade seats with any one of us that were standing there that were junior and beginning our careers, much like you are now. At the time, all I could think to myself was, not a problem, Master Chief. Give me your paycheck and your job. I'll take the desk, take the broom, and we can make it happen. But, it was hard to think about or really understand what he was talking about. But I can tell you 19 years later, I would gladly trade seats with any one of you right now. You are going out into a service that is more dynamic, more capable, more exciting, and more difficult than it was for me and my peers when we started. And you are all smarter, better prepared, and more ready to handle the challenges that lay ahead than we were. So I know you all accomplished great things. You've chosen the leadership rate, being a BOSA mate, and that's a big responsibility. Leadership is a lifelong pursuit that most of us will never master. As a matter of fact, I would say the vast majority of people who get into leadership at some point or another in their lives will never get to the pinnacle. It's almost an unforgiving pursuit. But if you keep up at it, you will improve constantly. So don't ever stop learning and working on your leadership skills and talents. It's only going to make you a better leader, a better person, and a better BOSA mate. Some of you might be a little nervous about where you're headed next. I will tell you, there are no bad units. It is all about your attitude and how you approach the situation. Anything you hear that's negative about a unit most likely comes from somebody who wasn't actually at that unit at any point in time, or somebody who was there and got into some trouble. All right, I've been to Jonesport, Maine, and that was one of the few places where you hear like, oh, you don't want to go to it. It was wonderful. I have fond memories of every place I've ever been, and so will you. When you arrive at your next units, remember that all eyes are going to be on you. Okay, the command's going to be wondering what kind of BM3 did they get. Did they get a young guy or gal who's going to excel, qualify ahead of time, and be a real contributing member of the unit? Or did they get a guy or gal who's going to be someone who needs a little bit of extra attention and is going to be a drag on the crew? I'm sure all of you will be the former. But keep that in mind, because not only will the command be looking at you, but your peers are going to be looking at you, right? The other BM3s that are there, the BM2s are going to be saying, how soon are you going to get qualified so that we can get a better duty section or a better duty rotation? And the non-rates are going to be looking at you to say, what kind of leader are you going to be? What kind of boat coxswain are you going to be? Are you going to be the BM2 who sits behind a computer all day and issues orders, or are you going to be the BM2 or BM3 who gets down and works next to people and trains them? Remember what you wanted when you were in their shoes, right? It wasn't that long ago. And it's very important. You're going to face some challenges, and what you're taking on is a monumental responsibility. Most men and women your age, or at this point in their lives, have no idea what it means to have someone else's life in their hands, or an entire boat crew's success depend on how well you do your job. But you're all up to the task. You're now bosun mates. Don't be afraid to fail. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. You're going to have mishaps. You're going to run boats aground. You're going to do things wrong, and it's going to be terrible when it happens, and you're going to feel bad about it. But if you can take a step back and look at the bigger picture, I can promise you that will be the best learning experience you can have. I've learned the most from my mistakes and failures, much more than I have from successes. It's hard to gain something from a success because you obviously did something right. But if you can take that step back, like I said, and look at your mistakes and mishaps, you'll grow. Lead by example. Be the leader that people need, not necessarily the leader that they think they want. Okay? Everybody thinks they want to be left alone, but in reality, people need to be held accountable, and they're going to be looking to you to see leadership. Leadership's not easy. Okay? It's easy. The only time it is easy is when you're leading somebody who's a high-performing individual, who wants to just do their job and is smart and can handle everything. But you have to focus your attention on the people who need your attention. And that's going to be a challenge. And it's hard to do as a BM3, and it's only going to get harder as the time goes on. But again, you're all up to the challenge. To be at your best to do all of these things, you're going to have to find a balance. You're going to have to find a balance between the stresses of home and work life. Because of the environment we operate in, which is inherently dangerous and ever-changing, when you cross the brow in the morning or come through the gate, you have to be clear-headed. And to do that, you have to make sure that you're taking care of spiritually, financially, physically, and mentally. Not only yourselves, but your families. Because if you bring that extra baggage into work, it's going to cloud your vision and your judgment, and it's going to make it exceedingly difficult to succeed. You're going to have some great times, and you're going to have some really bad times. You're not going to save everybody. It's a fact. Those days are going to be very tough. You may lose shipmates along the way. That is also going to be extremely difficult. But if you can remember to lean on each other and take care of each other at all times, both up and down the chain of command, you will be okay, and you'll make it through anything. You are ready to answer the challenges ahead and exceed in any assignment or mission you're given. Fair winds and following seas on your future assignments and future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Senior Chief. Today would not be possible without the dedicated staff that encompasses BMA School. They're here all hours working to give their students the benefits and experiences of their career. Their dedication is heartily commended. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. I would like to recognize Class 0219's outstanding sponsors who serve as a sounding board as well as mentors outside the BMA rating. Chief Justin Boodle, please stand and be recognized. We would now like to present some special recognition awards. Commander, please come forward and assist me in recognizing these individuals. Seaman Kiko, Seaman Cooper, Seaman Hansen, front and center. As class officers, you demonstrated superior leadership and communication skills, assisting the class advisor by ensuring all students were kept consistently aware of training center policies, procedures, and regulations. You met the difficult challenge to ensure that the class's attitude and adherence to standards were met and/or exceeded. You personally set standards to be emulated in uniform, military bearing, and classroom participation. Your dedication to duty and proactive team-building skills reflect highly upon yourself and the Bosun's Mate A School. Seaman Zaranande, Seaman Charles, Seaman Latson, Seaman Wilkinson, front center. The first award presentation is the Bosun's Mate A School Crew Excellence Award. In BMA School, the students are separated into teams by name after individuals who have been related to the Bosun's Mate rating. This is designed to enhance their teamwork capabilities and hold them accountable for each other's successes and failures. The Alexander Hamilton crew is awarded the coveted Crew Excellence Award. As a bosun's mate, you will never be alone on a boat, cutter mission. Your crew went above and beyond that which is necessary to pass BMA school by scoring the highest average physical fitness and academic scores of any other crew in your class. Each person in your crew sacrificed both time and energy to ensure each other's successes. Congratulations for your accomplishments. Seaman Jameson, front and center. The next award is the Inspirational Physical Fitness Leadership Award. This student demonstrated a positive attitude and dedication to his fellow classmates to complete the physical fitness requirements. BMA schools are one of only 2 schools that are requiring students at Training Center Yorktown to pass multiple physical fitness tests due to the nature of their job. Seaman Kiko, front and center. The next award is the Academic Excellence Award. While students are on board, they take almost 40 evaluations. They take most of them daily. This student had the highest overall academic average of 99.41%. Seaman Allwine, front and center. The last award is the Class Choice of Leadership Excellence within the group. What makes this award special is the students themselves elect the recipient. This student demonstrated superior qualities, leading by example, and helping guide and influence others.
All uniformed personnel, attention. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. Know ye that reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelity and abilities of these Coast Guardsmen, I do appoint them bosun mates 3rd class in the United States Coast Guard to rank as such from this date. These appointees will therefore carefully and diligently discharge the duties of the grade to which appointed by doing and performing all manner of things thereunto pertaining. And I do strictly charge and require all personnel of lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders. and these appointees are to observe and follow such orders and directions as may be given from time to time by superiors acting according to the rules and articles governing the discipline of the Armed Forces of the United States of America. Given under my hand at Yorktown, Virginia, the 16th day of November, 2018, signed, B.C. Spivak, Commander, U.S. Coast Guard Commanding Officer, Coast Guard Training Center, Yorktown, Yorktown, Virginia. All uniformed personnel at ease.
Now the class will introduce themselves as bosun's mates for the first time.
BM3 Eco, Coast Guard Cutter Hammerhead, Cape May, New Jersey.
On that side. Congratulations.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
BM3 Cooper, Station Bellingham, Washington.
Good luck.
BM3 Hanson, Station Bay, Washington.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
BM3 Jameson, Maritime Safety and Security Team, 91114, Miami, Homestead, Florida. Yes, sir. Not memorized. This is for you, sir. Well done.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
BM3 Allwine, Station Seattle, Washington.
Congrats, folks.
BM3 Miller, Maritime Force Protection Unit, Bangor, Washington.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
BM3 Zaranandi, Station St. Clair Shores, Michigan.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
BM3 Sturgis, Station Indian River Inlet, River Beach, Delaware.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
BM3 Delaney, Coast Guard Cutter Barbara Maverty, Louisville, Alabama.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
BM3 Charles Mauer, Station Eastport, Eastport, Maine. Eastport.
Congrats, folks. Good luck. It's beautiful up there, by the way. You're going to really enjoy your time. It's a cool mission set, too.
BM3Z, Station Chetco River, Oregon.
Congrats, folks.
No picture for you, Dad. Sorry.
BM3 Steiner, Station Bayfield, Wisconsin.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
If you want me to stop him, I'll stop him from there.
BM3 Charles, Station Grey, Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
BM3 Zealand, Station Bay,
Good luck.
PM3 Warren, Station St. Croix, Virgin Islands.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
PM3 Tori, Coast Guard Cutter George Cobb, San Pedro California.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
PM3 Dudley, Station Ocean City, Maryland.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
PM3 License, Station St. Joseph, Michigan, St. Joseph, Michigan.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
PM3 Epica, Station Oxford, Maryland.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
PM3 Reed, Station Marmalade, Ohio.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
PM3 Yandell, Station Rockland, Maine.
You know she's the one. Congrats, folks. Good luck.
PM3 Harvey, Coast Guard Cutter Wedge, Demopolis, Alabama.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
PM3 Wilson, Station Gourmet, Long Beach, North Carolina.
Good luck.
PM3 Van Slyke, Coast Guard Cutter Polar Star, Seattle, Washington.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
PM3 Bird, Station St. Joseph, Michigan.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
PM3 Duncan, Station Tawas, East Tawas, Michigan.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
PM3 Finch, Saginaw, Michigan. Essexville, Michigan.
Good morning.
Congrats, folks. Good luck.
PM3 Sioux, Station Fairport, Harbor, Ohio.
Station Miami, Miami Beach, Florida. BM3 Perez, Station Roosevelt Inlet, Homeless Beach, Delaware.
BM3 Catholic, Station Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin.
And now, BM3 All Wine will read the Creed of the U.S. Coast Guardsman. All uniformed Coast Guard personnel, attention.
The Creed of the United States Coast Guardsmen. I am proud to be a United States Coast Guardsman. I revere that long line of expert seamen who, by their devotion to duty and sacrifice of self, have made it possible for me to be a member of a service honored and respected, in peace and in war, throughout the world. I never, by work or deed, will bring reproach upon their fair name of my service, nor permit others to do so unchallenged. I will cheerfully and willingly obey all lawful orders. I will always be on time to relieve, and shall endeavor to do more, rather than less, than my share. I shall always be at my station, alert and attending to my duties. I shall, so as far as I am able, to bring my seniors solutions, not problems. I shall live joyously, but always with due regard to the rights and privileges of others. I shall endeavor to be a model citizen in the community in which I live. I shall sell life dearly to any enemy of my country, but give it freely to rescue those in peril. With God's help, I shall endeavor to be one of His noblest works, that of the United States Coast Guardsmen.
All uniformed personnel at ease. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest bosun's mates in the United States Coast Guard, congratulations.